Welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, my name is Daisy. I am a boy mom and I recently just became a girl mom. My daughter's 2 weeks old today. So if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe for more motherhood content, mindset content. I also have a podcast called The Mommy Mindset Mentor. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys all of the things that I've been using postpartum and some breastfeeding tips and things that I've been doing differently now as a second-time mom versus the first time. As a first-time mom with my son, I never gave him a pacifier. I never gave him a binky. My suggestion is find out why they're crying instead of just trying to give them a pacifier, because you're gonna create a bad habit and it's gonna be hard to take the pacifier away from them when they're older. I haven't been swaddling my daughter because I heard that newborns, they like to stretch, they like to move around, and when you swaddle them, you're restricting them, and it's just like making it harder for them to practice those mobility skills. So I don't swaddle her. And honestly, if I was to use a swaddle, I would use one of those swaddles that are like wearable blankets that they feel covered, they're covered up, but they're still able to move around and move their arms and move their legs if they want to. And I don't use any bottles. Now with my son, we're gonna get into the breastfeeding and breastfeeding tips. With my son, I did not breastfeed because I feel like there was a lot of different things that played into that. He didn't want to latch. At the hospital, I didn't have that golden hour. So the golden hour is when you have that first hour with your newborn. And right away, they took him away from me to give him his shots, to take him a shower. And then they said that his sugar was like going down. So they had to like feed him right away. So they started giving him like a little bottle with formula. So right there is like, we didn't have that skin to skin. He was away most of the time. They gave him bottle, they gave him formula. So, from the hospital, I never breastfed. I've been giving him formula ever since. And then when I did try to breastfeed, it was very hard for him to latch on. And that's something that newborns can experience, which is called nipple confusion, because it takes a different technique in their mouth to suck on the bottle versus sucking on a nipple. So, if you're getting them used to sucking on a bottle, when it's time to come and breastfeed, it could make it more difficult for them to latch because they're trying to drink it as if it's a bottle, but it's not. Also, when I was breastfeeding him, I noticed that he was spitting up a lot. It was like more than usual. So he was like spitting up all of the milk that he would drink. And then when I took him to the pediatrician, they said that he was allergic to my milk, probably because I was eating too much dairy. So they suggested that I cut out dairy, cut out milk, cut out cheese, cut out everything. And I tried, and then every time I ate, I was eating something dairy without even noticing it. Like I would eat pizza and then I was like, dang, pizza has cheese on it. I would eat ice cream and I'm like, dang, ice cream is milk. Like, so even though I tried to stay away from like milk and cheese, but like everything that I ate had that. So, from there, I was just giving him formula, and he had to drink like a special formula, which was like $50 each can. So now with my daughter, I've learned so much, just through Instagram. And when I went to the hospital this time, I told them I want to have my daughter for the first hour, have that skin to skin, because that helps you bond, but it also helps like with breastfeeding. So right away, like breastfeeding, she was able to latch on, but it was hurting. And I watched this video that really helped me, and I'm going to put the link in my description because this really helped me. Because when I was breastfeeding her, I would notice sometimes she would make a noise that was like, and if they're making that noise, that means they're not latched on correctly. And then sometimes like my nipple would be stinging, like it would hurt. Like it's like every time she would get on there, it would hurt. And since watching that video, I literally only breastfeed on one breast. Like it doesn't even hurt. Which surprises me because I used to think that breastfeeding hurt. Every time that I used to do it with my son, or now in the beginning, it would hurt. From watching that video, it's the position that you hold your baby, right? Like you don't want to have your baby like their stomach facing up and they're like turning their head trying to drink. That is very uncomfortable, right? So when you're holding them, you want to make sure that they're turned on their side. Your belly is against their belly, and that is going to help them get a really good latch, and it's not gonna hurt. I've been using one breast to breastfeed because for me, just that position is more comfortable. But then what I do is I use the pump that the hospital gave me to do the other side that I don't use, so that way I don't get molasses, whatever it is, like which that is like, if you don't know, if you're a first time mom, like sometimes if you're not like using the milk out, then the milk gets stuck in there and it could become very painful. So what I do is I breastfeed on one side, and on the other side I use my breast pump. For my postpartum products that I have been using, first off is you want to get nipple pads. Now these are reusable and washable, or you can get the disposable ones, but I have been liking these because you can just wash them when you're done. And these are so important because there's nothing more annoying than having to change your shirt every 30 minutes because your boobs are leaking. Like literally your shirt is constantly getting wet, and so these are super important. Something else that I have been doing, like sometimes when I forget to wash these, is I use the baby's newborn diapers. I fold them in half and I put them inside my bra, and those actually work super great because they're super thick and I don't have to change them as often versus using like the disposable ones from the store. Second thing that you're really gonna need are pads, or you could even buy like the wearable diapers because you are going to be bleeding after giving birth. So I did a pack my hospital bag with me, and these are one of the products that I use. So I want to give you guys an update. I don't use this. This is for cracked nipples, and honestly it's just water mixed with salt. But I really have been liking this no mess nipple balm, but I haven't even been using it because, like I said, since learning how to properly breastfeed, my nipples have not hurt. But in the beginning, when I didn't know what I was doing, I was using this because my nipples were super sore. So the great thing about this is that in the beginning I was using my hand, and I didn't realize that you don't even have to do that. You just squeeze it and you roll it around. So this is the no mess nipple balm from Freedom Mom. So I didn't even think that I was gonna need a pump because I was like, I'm gonna be exclusively breastfeeding and like I'm not gonna use any bottles. But this has been super good since I only like to use one breast to breastfeed. I can use this to get the milk out on the other side. And not only that, when I give my daughter her first bath at home, I'm going to be giving her a milk bath. So I'm going to be able to use this milk for the milk bath, which I heard has so many benefits. Last but not least, you're going to want to invest in some breastfeeding bras, which I bought mine from Target. I only have one, which I need to go buy more because these things are so much better than regular bras because it comes with a clip that you can just unclip without having to take your whole bra off, without having to take the strap off. It is so easy to clip on and clip off. The same way that the pregnancy pants are worth it, so are these maternity bras. They are so good. So that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, especially for all my new mamas who are looking for breastfeeding tips, who are looking, what products you're gonna need, postpartum care, and at the hospital they give you a lot of different things. So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, if you learned something new, make sure that you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my podcast, The Mommy Mindset Mentor, on Apple and Spotify, and follow me on Instagram for daily updates and advice at Daisy Fuentes.